Hey guys, let's talk about driver, because whenever I meet students who struggle with driver, they always have the same misconceptions, and the biggest misconception is to try and hit up on the golf ball. Now, it doesn't mean, as you'll see from this video, that you shouldn't hit up on the golf ball with driver, but it's the way in which you end up doing it. So what happens with a lot of golfers is they get set up, they do the normal things, they move the ball position further forward in the stance, they produce a bit of a tilting motion because of that, and then from here what they end up doing is trying to hit up on the golf ball. And this idea of hitting up on the golf ball, it means that you end up standing up. Now the problem is when you start to stand up, what will happen is the club's going to end up swinging too much to the right of the target, and then this basically means that you're also going to be, if you're swinging too much to the right of the target, this means you're going to end up standing up. And if you end up sort of doing this type of motion, the next thing you know is you're going to end up topping the golf ball and completely miss hitting it, and it's just a real big problem. So what I do first and foremost with students is I eradicate the idea of hitting it off a tee to start off with. Okay, so I'll get the student to do some swings with the driver where they just brush the ground like this, okay, like so. Okay, and what this does, this gets them swinging similar to how they would with an iron, and it just gives them a chance to get used, okay, to the idea of just swinging it like a normal club. And that's what I would do, and that's exactly what I'd suggest. If you are somebody who struggles with the driver, do exactly the same thing where you just swing the club and just control that low point. Now the question would then be, well, okay, how do we end up hitting up on the golf ball? Well, the way you hit up on the golf ball is not by trying to lean back and hit it from the inside. The way you hit up on the golf ball is by finishing the swing. So if I hold the club here just with my left hand and the club head obviously located like so, if I don't keep moving, so I try and hit it from the inside and I hang back, that means my left shoulder stops moving because my body stops turning, and this means the club's going to come down like so. Now if I keep moving, similar to that shot that I just demonstrated there, and I keep turning my chest, can you see where my shoulder goes back? And if I keep moving, my shoulder goes up and behind me, and that's what creates this upward motion. So I would always suggest, start by doing some practice swings off the floor. If you want to try and hit one off the floor, I'm not saying that you necessarily need to do that, but then rather than just going straight, you know, down the driving range to this sort of height of tee, right, which is like the orange tee height, the highest one, just build your way up. So go for, if you're familiar with using the gradient tees, go from, like, I think it's a white tee to a yellow tee to a pink tee, and just sort of build it around, because you'll be surprised actually with driving. You can get some really good results with a really short tee peg, because the way that we hit up on the golf ball is not by leaning back and standing up, it's by actually completing the swing. So hopefully this tip really helps you. Welcome, I'll see you soon.